It is absolutely acceptable to have a child marriage in Islam, even not only at 9-year-old.
He said 9.
Even as a young baby, if you wish, 1-year-old.
They think Palestinians aren't really fully human.
Good point, Brother Yuga.
The Islamic scholars have agreed there is no minimum age for sex with a child.
Just Jared's fine.
هلا 10
بتروح على المدرسة؟
أنا تالي خطيبي أحمد.
أنت مخطوبة؟ مساء الخير أحمد. قديش عمرك أحمد؟
25 سنة.
عمرك 25 سنة ومحاش سنة. قديش شي 8 سنين؟ ليش أنت؟
الزواج بس لتكبر شوي.
يعني أنت
No minimum age. So even sex with infants, infant being defined as a baby in the cradle, is legal.
We are studying the Holy Quran. Do not interrupt. Brother Al-Fati, please continue.
Al-Fadi, can you read for me the highlighted section in yellow, please?
Yes, it says, fourth, when a man has had sexual intercourse with a girl under the age of 9 years.
He said 9.
Palestinians aren't really fully human and can't be trusted to run their own government.
Brother Yuga, I fully agree. The Palestinians should be trusted with armies and weapons.
I watch Israel people die and I masturbate that.
Moses was not a Jew. Moses was a Muslim.
The password is credibility. Credibility.
Jesus was not a Jew. He was a Muslim. Abraham couldn't have been Jewish. He definitely couldn't have been Christian. So what was he? He was a Muslim. That's it. Islam is the final revelation. They have the Old Testament. They have the New Testament. Well, the Quran is the final testament. Takbir! Takbir!
I mean, if the fat, crazy, hangry guy screaming in the street with the hoodie and the bad Amish beard said it, it must be true, right?
The parts. Okay, then I'll read it.
Okay,
So,
rupture the parts.
okay.
It is unlawful of him to have further connection with her, but she is not released from her ties if connected with him by marriage or slavery.
Marriage or slavery.
Your name is Toby. What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
If no rupture has taken place, the prohibition is not incurred according to the most valid opinion.
Do you know what this means, Al-Fadi?
Well, I mean, certainly it's talking about, child, basically rape.
Palestinians aren't really fully human.
This is when a man has sexual intercourse with his prepubescent wife. If he destroys her private parts and rips her open so that from the bottom of her vagina, it rips the skin open to the anus.
Palestinians aren't really fully human.
Then he should not have sex with her again. However, if he does do this with his prepubescent child wife and he does not destroy her this way medically, then he may continue to do so without issue.
They're going to school with our kids.
That is what this means. This explains, this is the Quranic law, which is derived from Quran 65:4. Let me continue.
I'm not interrupting. You're on a roll.
Let's have a look at the reliance of the traveler. We look at a few sources here. Quran 65:4 says, as for your women who have despaired of further menstruating, if you are in doubt, their waiting period shall be 3 months. And those who have not menstruated yet. A woman's postmarital waiting period, the iddah, rule N9.1. There is no waiting period for a woman divorced before having had sexual intercourse with her husband. Fantastic. N9.2, a waiting period is obligatory for a woman divorced after intercourse, whether the husband and wife are prepubescent, have reached puberty, or one has reached maturity. And one is prepubescent and the other has not. Intercourse means copulation. So notice, a waiting period is obligatory for a woman divorced after intercourse. Notice it says here you can have sex with your prepubescent wife.
Palestinians aren't really fully human.
Your thoughts on this, Al-Fadi, before I go on?
It's very troubling, to be honest.
When a woman has been made love to she must repeat the ghusl. This is the ritual bathing after sex. So when a woman has been made love to, she must repeat the bathing if two conditions exist: that she is not a child, but rather old enough to have sexual gratification.
And now we will be joined by one of the foremost forward-thinking Islamic philosophers of our time, Brother Mohammed Hajab, and he will shine some light and wisdom.
Sell dildos, right? You sell dildos.
Brother Hajab is an Islamic philosopher of religion.
So if she's not a child, she should then bathe. But if she is a child, bathing is not obligatory upon her.
Now, hold on. Just so I understand, and for the clarity of all the good people in West Virginia, according to the Holy Quran, if you have your way with a youngin', they don't gotta wash. Blessed be Allah.
Upon her. A full indemnity is paid for injuries which paralyze these members, injuring the peritoneal wall between the vagina and rectum so they become one aperture.
In your neighborhood.
So notice, this is recognized in Islamic Royal Alliance 0413, Book of Justice.
It is written in the Islamic Book of Justice.
Page 592. This rupturing of this wall between vagina and anus is a recognized issue in Islam, and you can receive compensation for this. Now, final one. This is the Fiqh to Educate Women from the Heavenly Ornaments by Hishti Zever. The Jewels of Paradise. Heavenly Ornaments, a favorite with the people of the Indian subcontinent as well as the Indian Muslim diaspora all over the world. It is a comprehensive encyclopedia, in fact, of fiqh, Islamic rituals and morals. 5. If a person has sexual intercourse with a minor girl, bathing will not be obligatory on her, but in order to get into the habit, she should be made to bath.
He said, she should. He said she should be made to bath. What the?
Palestinians aren't really fully human.
Notice, if you have sexual intercourse with a minor. Fadi, what does minor mean?
Well, I mean, minor is just someone who's under the age of puberty, basically.
Just Jared's fine.
Correct. 2. If a woman is underage, but not so small that if one has intercourse with her, there is a fear of the vaginal tissues tearing to such an extent that the vagina and anus will virtually come together, then by the insertion of the glands of the penis into her vagina, bathing will become obligatory, fard, on the man if he has reached the age of puberty. If he has reached the age of puberty. However, if there is the aforementioned fear in a very minor girl, then the mere insertion of the penis does not render bathing obligatory. We're now seeing in another Islamic law source the very same rulings. But notice they make a distinction between a woman who is underage, a minor, and a very minor girl. Fadi, your thoughts, please.
There is nothing to say here, brother. I mean, it's just as disgusting as it sounds. If it is anything outside of Islam, people will be jumping all over it and saying this is child abuse. But here we go. This is what Islam and its Sharia teach.
So I will continue with some more of these laws because I want to settle the matter of Quran 65:4. I want to show how the Quranic verse and the hadith of Aisha were then taken into doctrine and then transmitted into law and now expressed as a legal right, as permission to have sex with underage, prepubescent minors. In fact, even with infants. So these are two law professors who are telling us which fiqh books are being used in the court system today in Pakistan. The genealogical analysis of Islamic law books relied on in the courts of Pakistan by Professor of Law, PhD, Shahbaz Ahmed Chima, as well as Sami Ozair Khan, Assistant Professor, College of Law, University of the Punjab.
As Arabs, we need to admit that the West and Israel are not our oppressors. We Arabs are our worst enemies and biggest oppressors. We Arabs have killed and oppressed 1,000,000 times more of our own kind than the West and Israel. It was not the West or Israel that married off my mother when she was a child. It was my own people. It is not the West or Israel that has been bombing Yemen and killed over 400,000 Yemenis. It is our own people. It is not Israel or the West that has implanted Islamic extremism in the East and in the West. It is our books, it is our mosques, it is our imams, it is what we read and what we preach. It is not the West or Israel that force us to treat our women like commodities. And most of all, it is not the West or Israel that do not value Arab lives. It is we, Arabs, who do not value human lives. If we do not admit to ourselves that we are the problem, that we need to progress, that we need to change, then change will never happen, and blood will keep on flowing, and no one will respect us. How do we expect the international community to respect us when we do not respect ourselves?
Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more Islamic studies with Brother Corey Cutler. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.